Hello, it is I, Ledin, and this is Street Fighter V Championship Edition Viewer Replay Analysis 1. In this series I will go over the replays that you can submit to me, and we try to go over the do's and don'ts and where we can improve. If you want to submit a replay to me, you can do it in the comment section or on the Ibuki Discord. When I do a replay analysis of a match, the first thing I do is to just watch the match and write things down that stand out. For the case of this video, I will write them at the bottom of the screen.
Round 2. Fight!
First thing I want to talk about is the don'ts. The first thing I saw was the slide usage. This is a move that I call a low reward, high risk. So that means on hit, if it's perfectly spaced, you get like 60 damage, and on block, maybe you're not punishable. But if you do it incorrectly, you could be even on hit punished, and on block, you could get a punish up to 200 damage. So it's not really a good move to use in neutral or in block strings. The only time I can think of that you can use it is versus a Gal or a Fireball character to slide under it, or just maybe to finish a round with. But in general, it's a move you shouldn't use. Second thing I saw was the MK command dash yourself in the corner. For me, this is a crucial mistake because you went from being near the corner pressuring Rock to being in the corner versus Rock, which is really scary. And all the damage and pressure he could do afterward is a direct consequence of this. I feel like in the corner there's no need for you to do this. You could do your normals and just keep him locked in the corner. The third thing I noticed is sweeps in neutral or after a jump in on block. I can be pretty simple on this, just don't do it, especially in the neutral and on block. The only time you will ever see it is from a further away jump in, but even then, HKDP would be better. It's also the reason why you lost a round where you could have potentially made a comeback in the corner. The last thing from the don'ts is vtrigger on block. If you can avoid it, don't use vtrigger on block. It's now nerfed to -4 on block, and it's pretty much a wasted vtrigger. To make it a little bit easier, you can go for a crouch medium punch into kunai and then do the vtrigger, or do it after an X kunai on hit for Ibuki's best mix-ups. Only plus on block vtrigger we still have is when you cancel it right after an X kunai, then it can be up to +5 on block, as I will show in the following clips. Before we go into more complex parts, here are some tips notes I saw that could help you. The first one is pressing after an X-dash trade on block from raw. I don't know if you knew this was plus or not, but first time you got a trade, the second time he got a counter hit, and from the third one onwards you blocked. Which is good adaptation, because if you're not sure, you can press the first time, see what happens, and if you see that you always get counter hitted, you can block. So that way you can also learn the frame data. The second one is whiffing a forward HK. If it is possible, try to not whiff the forward HK. This could lead to a whiff punish from the other player, which happens here. The third one is about X kunai raw in neutral. This is more of a personal opinion, but I think it's better to not do it raw. It's very hard to get the spacing right and actually do the conversion. Could, for example, do a crouch medium punch buffer into X kunai and have more chance of converting into Oki. The fourth one is LP MP HP target combo on block go into LK and on hit go to HP. It is hard to do this correct, but it's very important because with the recent nerf, LP MP HP target combo on block is now very punishable. So you should learn to do LK on block and HP on hit. The best way to train this is to go to the trainings mode and set the CPU to random block. This way you can train to do the correct option. The fifth one is jump glide in neutral. Jump glide is not really great for a jump in, because it's very easy to anti-air. This player didn't have the best anti-airs, but he still managed to anti-air you the one time you tried it. The sixth one is using HP Raida instead of LP Raida mid-screen. Mid-screen you should always go for the LP Raida instead of the HP Raida, because you get some nice Oki after the LP Raida. So you do the LP Raida, you dash up, and then you are +4. The last one is combo after the overhead. After the overhead you can link into an LP and then cancel into a special. This will be more important for the discussion later on in this video. For the next sequences I will go a bit more in detail. First one is giving up pressure in the corner. So you did a nice walk under and a throw, which got tagged, but that's okay since he stays in the corner. I will freeze the video here for a second so I can talk about it. Right now Bauro is in the corner and you are near the corner. This is one of the best places to be in, and it's very scary for him since you can now get access to Ibuki's 50-50s and you can pressure him really well. You are about under the clock, which is perfect since you can react to anti-airs. You can't do safe dash trades and he has no meter. And you have 2 bars, all your kunais and your vtrigger, so it's perfect for the comeback. But when we unfreeze the video, the first thing you did was backdash and wait and down back, which as you can see in the video, then lets the Bauro walk out of the corner for free. It's very important to know that a good game plan for Ibuki in a round is to try to push them to the corner, try to keep them in the corner and try to finish them in the corner. It's one of the best positions to be in. So if you can and are aware of it, try to keep them there. Try to get a 50-50 with the X kunai, or try to finish with an HP Raida, or try to get in forward HK, then try to finish them there. The next item is the Oki knockdown pressure. In this match you mostly used LP, crouch LP walk throw, and MP walk throw. Better and easy to follow plan on Oki could be to use either a throw, an MP button and then combo into LK cancel into LP Raida, or an overhead or shimmy. If you use one of the following options above, either a throw, a button or overhead or shimmy, you can adapt on what the opponent does and you have more various options. You can start with a throw and see what the opponent does. Does he wake up and just block? Then you keep throwing him. Does he tag right away? Then you can go for a shimmy or an overhead next time. Does he mash all the time, or does he mash after blocking the first button? Then you can go for a meaty MP into LK into LP Raida and repeat the process as long as he keeps mashing. What I noticed in your match is that you probably went autopilot with the button, walk and then a throw, no matter if it hit or not. So your opponent in the video always blocked on his wake up and then pressed the button after blocking your first MP. Only the first time he actually kept blocking. So if you notice this pattern, you can do an MP and then go for a frame trap. For example, MP MP, LP LP, MP LK into X kunai, which only works when you get a counter hit on the LK. Or if you have the read on his mashing, you can start with crouch LP MP LK, which is a double frame trap after the crouch LP and the MP. If he delays his button, you can also do a button and then a forage HK, or a little bit further out you can do MP and then a V skill. The last part I want to talk about is the neutral and how to get in. You mostly used forward HK, slide, jump, sweep and dash. There are however some other buttons you can use in neutral that are really great. For example, you could do a crouch mini punch buffer in a DP or in an X kunai and get Oki afterward. You can do a crouch LP if they dash a lot and go into crouch LP combo, or in crouch LP counter hit MP LK into special, or you could do an MP checker button and confirm in LK. You could do a crouch minimum kick and on counter hit go into LK. I didn't see you use a lot of V skill, but you can use it sometimes in neutral. See it as a slow long range poke. Also, if the opponent does 2 or 3 buttons, sometimes you can do a V skill and get out of the pressure. Try to play around with Ibuki's buttons in every matchup and see what buttons work and what buttons don't work. Final tip is, if it works, keep doing it. If you jump on an opponent and he never anti-airs, keep jumping. If you constantly dash and he never reacts to it, keep dashing. And if he then starts looking for only the dash or the jump, you can alternate your options. If you mash and you keep getting the hits because the opponent doesn't have good meaties, or if he keeps walking after a button, just keep doing it until he changes his game plan. As long as it works, just keep doing it. It's not your fault that the opponent is not adapting to your game plan. That was the first viewer replay analysis. Hopefully it was informative and enjoyable. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below and I will try to answer them. Thanks for watching and see you next time.